When I walked into the kitchen that evening, the smell of roasted garlic and butter filled the air. My wife, Emily, was standing by the stove, humming softly as she stirred a pot. It felt like one of those rare, peaceful nights, until I opened my mouth. "Hey, Em," I said, loosening my tie. "I just wanted to let you know about the office party this Friday. My boss insisted I come." Her hand froze mid-stir, the spoon clinking against the pot. She turned slowly, her face drained of color. For a moment, she just stared at me, and then, to my complete shock, her eyes welled up with tears. "Friday night?" she whispered, almost as if I had told her something unforgivable. I frowned, confused. "Yeah, it's just a work thing. They rented out a hotel ballroom, and everyone's supposed to bring their spouse if they can." "Why? What's wrong?" Her lip trembled, and suddenly tears spilled over. She pressed a hand to her mouth like she was trying to stop herself from breaking apart right there in front of me. I felt a pang of guilt, though I didn't even know what I was guilty of. "Emily, hey, what's going on? It's just a party. If you don't want to come, that's fine. I can go alone." But she shook her head hard, as if that wasn't the point at all. She set the spoon down, wiped at her cheeks, and finally looked at me with an expression I couldn't decipher. Pain mixed with fear, maybe even regret. "You don't understand," she said softly. "You don't know what Friday means." Her words sent a chill down my spine. "What do you mean?" "It's just a date on the calendar." But she didn't answer right away. Instead, she walked to the kitchen table and sat down heavily, her hands clasped together as if she were holding on for dear life. "James," she whispered, "I need to tell you something, and you're not going to like it." My chest tightened. My mind raced with possibilities. An affair, a secret debt, some health issue she had been hiding. The silence stretched between us, heavy and unbearable. Finally, she spoke. "2 years ago, on that exact Friday, I was supposed to go to a similar event with you. But I lied." I blinked. "Lied about what?" Her tears rolled again, and her voice cracked. "I told you I wasn't feeling well, but the truth is, I went out with someone else. Someone from work at the time." The words slammed into me like a physical blow. My heart dropped, and for a second I couldn't breathe. My hands tightened into fists at my sides, but all I could manage to say was, "Are you serious?" She nodded miserably. "It was the biggest mistake of my life. It didn't mean anything. It ended almost immediately. But every year when this time comes around, I'm reminded of what I did, and now you're talking about another party on the same day. I can't handle it." The room spun. I felt betrayed, gutted, but also strangely numb. 2 years. For 2 years, I had been living beside her, laughing, loving, building a life, completely unaware of this shadow hanging over us. I pulled out a chair across from her and sat down slowly. "So you've been carrying this for 2 years, and you chose now to tell me?" Her sobs grew harder. "I didn't want to destroy us. I thought I could bury it and move on. But when you mentioned that party, it was like a knife to my chest. I couldn't lie to you anymore." My jaw clenched. Part of me wanted to walk out, slam the door, and never look back. Another part wanted to scream, demand every detail, every reason why. But instead, I sat there in silence, staring at the woman I thought I knew, realizing that the life I had trusted wasn't as solid as I believed. She reached for my hand across the table, but I pulled back, unable to bear her touch. "James, please," she begged, her voice breaking. "Don't give up on me because of this. I swear it was one mistake. I've been faithful ever since." But all I could hear was the echo of her words. I lied. I went out with someone else. That night, for the first time in our marriage, I slept in the guest room. The next morning, I woke up to the pale light filtering through the guest room curtains, my head pounding from a restless night. I had always believed trust was the strongest pillar of our marriage, but now it felt like a hollow structure ready to collapse with the slightest push. When I entered the kitchen, Emily was already there, her eyes swollen, her hands trembling as she poured coffee into 2 mugs. She slid one toward me, but I didn't touch it. I just stood there, arms folded, watching her. "James," she said quietly. I know I hurt you. I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I need you to at least listen. I exhaled sharply. I did listen, Emily. You admitted to lying to me, to betraying me, and you hid it for years. What else is there to hear? She flinched but pressed on. I need you to understand the context, not as an excuse but as the truth. Back then, we were fighting all the time. I felt invisible, unwanted. Someone at work, he noticed me. He gave me attention when I was starving for it. I let myself get carried away. Her words were meant to explain, but they sliced deeper. So what? I snapped. Because we had rough weeks, that gave you permission to go behind my back? Tears filled her eyes again. No, it didn't. It was wrong. And I ended it immediately because I realized what I stood to lose. I've been trying to make it up to you ever since. Every dinner I cooked, every moment I tried to be present. It was me begging for forgiveness without confessing. I shook my head. Forgiveness isn't something you can earn in secret, Emily. You robbed me of the chance to even know what I was forgiving. You chose to protect yourself, not us. Silence filled the kitchen. I could see the panic in her eyes as if she felt me slipping away with every word. Finally, she whispered, What do you want me to do? Tell me how to fix this. I leaned on the counter, staring at her. That's the thing, Em. I don't know if it can be fixed. Trust isn't just bruised here. It's shattered. You can't glue something back together and pretend the cracks don't exist. Her face crumpled, and she reached for me again. I'll do anything, James. Therapy, counseling, whatever it takes. Just don't walk away without trying. I wanted to believe her desperation was real, that she was willing to fight for us. But part of me wondered if she was capable of this once, could she be capable of it again? That evening, I went to the office party alone. I hadn't planned to, but staying in the house with her tears and pleas felt suffocating. The ballroom buzzed with laughter, clinking glasses, the faint hum of live music. Co-workers chatted about promotions and travel, their smiles easy, their lives seemingly uncomplicated. I stood there, drink in hand, forcing small talk while my mind replayed Emily's confession over and over. When someone asked, Where's your wife tonight? I lied without hesitation. She's not feeling well. It was easier than explaining the truth. Driving home later, the city lights blurred against my windshield. I thought about how one moment, one secret could unravel years of trust. And I thought about how Emily's tears weren't just guilt. They were fear. Fear of losing me. When I walked through the door, she was waiting on the couch, her hands clasped, eyes red from crying. You went? She asked softly. Yeah, I said. My voice was flat, tired. She nodded slowly, as if bracing for impact. And now? I looked at her for a long time, searching her face for the woman I had fallen in love with, the woman who had once been my safe place. Now, I said carefully, we take a break. I can't decide our future tonight or even tomorrow. But I can't live under the same roof while I'm carrying this weight. I need space to think. Her breath caught, and she shook her head violently. No, James. Please. If you leave, even for a little while, I don't think I'll survive it. But I had already made up my mind. I grabbed a small bag, packed enough for a few days, and stood at the door. This isn't punishment, Emily. It's survival. For me. Maybe for both of us. She broke down into sobs, but I didn't turn back. That night, I checked into a hotel. Alone in the sterile room, I stared at the ceiling and felt both the crushing weight of betrayal and the faintest spark of freedom. For the first time in years, I realized I had a choice. I could either keep pretending our marriage was whole, or I could rebuild myself with or without her. The tears she shed may have been real, but they couldn't erase the truth. Some cracks never vanish, no matter how desperately you try to fill them. And as I drifted into uneasy sleep, I knew this was just the beginning of a painful journey. A journey where I would finally decide whether love could be resurrected after betrayal, or whether it was time to bury it for good.